Hello and welcome to today's mini episode of the Ego Drop. My name is Steph.
And I'm Nicole. Good to have you back.
Hi. Hi. So yes, we do these mini episodes now just to fill a bit of space, really, so you don't miss us too much in the fortnight that we're away. I'm
Yeah,
sure you're
please keep
delighted that we're here.
it. Yeah, we're back in
We
new
are.
colors. Sorry,
So
don't sing.
yeah, so this is an episode, they're only short and it's really for you to share your views, which have really been positive recently. I think you all enjoyed the grief episode. I think we've had lots of feedback about Stu's episode as well, about success. Really admiring the way he talks about his business and about the changes that he went through, and also for us just to share our inane chatter with you. So
And one of the
on
things
that
also, Steph,
news,
as well, sorry to chime in before you move on. Sorry for cutting, but we need to get this right. I need to get it right to stop cutting across. But I think one of the things that one of the feedbacks I heard about Stuart's is that it came across so passionately about
mm,
not about the things that he has or has achieved, but also about where he's going and where he places his value now. Do you know what I mean? So that was quite positive
mm,
to hear that uh
definitely.
from as a feedback. I can't wait to hear what they'll have to say about our next part two of the old success series. Yeah.
Well, yes, so that landed last week.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I imagine by the time that this mini episode goes out, we'll have lots and lots of feedback. But
Yeah.
let's have a little chat about that, Nicole. So obviously we got to speak with Michelle Healy, KC, leader of the Midlands Circuit, who we've both known for many years in a professional capacity. I've also known her as a friend as well. During that time, we've become friends. And when I spent more time over in Birmingham, we would socialize occasionally. And I think, as we even probably said on the episode, we even went to like a hit session or whatever it was called together and all sorts. So, but over time you sort of drift, careers move on, and I hadn't seen her properly for some time, so it's lovely to have that catch up. So yeah, how did you find it? How did you find what she had to say?
It was very interesting, in terms of firstly, well, from my standpoint, I know of her as a barrister, but also I've appeared before her when she sits as a part-time recorder, a judge. And
Mm.
so for me, it's like, oh, God is, but she's actually so chilled out because you know her in a social settings as well, whereas I know her in a professional capacity only. So I've only either seen her in the robing room or in the court building or
Mm.
appeared before her on many occasions. And so for me, it was quite nice to see her in a very, relaxed and more chilled out, fun way, because obviously the little chat before and after the interview, some of which unfortunately you guys won't be privy to, but we vibed a lot, and I was thinking, oh, she's really relaxed. So it's
It really is her authentic self. So I know you will probably be able to think of examples, naming no names, of course, of people that early in their career, they're friendly with you. You might even go to lunch or socialize or network in the same circles. And then when they start to climb that career ladder, all of a sudden, you're not useful to them professionally, or they see themselves as being above you, and therefore sometimes stop speaking to you altogether, but certainly don't relate to you in the same way. Whereas, in my opinion, Michelle has remained grounded. She's the same Michelle I've always known, and I can be just as cheeky to her now that she's an all-important leader of the
and,
Midlands Circuit.
and by the way,
Than
Steph,
the junior barrister.
And by the way, Steph, as well, because I know we say Michelle, we introduce her as Michelle Healy KC.
Mm.
Also, to the non-legal listeners that we have and viewers that we have, KC means King's Counsel, because obviously,
Yes.
yeah, just for
So
clarification.
senior barrister, essentially. Most barristers, even though they're hugely experienced, they're known as junior barristers, even if they're sort of 30 years at the bar. But if you've reached King's Counsel, then yes, you are leaders in your field, really.
And she's a
Um,
young King's Counsel.
she was one of the youngest, wasn't she? And yeah, just she's always been very impressive, very, always prepared well, but she's just kept that real down to earth nature, which is why I think she's done so well in the criminal law field, because you can't represent criminal clients or alleged criminal clients if you're going to be hoity-toity. You've got to relate to people, like it's in any walk of life. If you give a good service to someone, you've got to be able to relate to them on some level, haven't you? And she's certainly able to do that. I mean, I was sending her clips of the podcast telling her that I was going to bring down her career with some of these. So you couldn't do that to many people and have them laugh it off.
Yeah.
But that's just the nature of our sort of banter, as it were. But no, I thought it was really interesting what she had to say about success, about her belief in herself. And I think if only we could bottle that, if
Yeah.
only we could all have that
That level of
innate,
confidence and
yeah,
self-belief, we would
huge, yeah,
see.
it's hugely impressive and inspiring. And yeah, just fantastic. And of course, who can forget the mantra that she left us with?
I love it. Don't be a dick. And I'm telling you, and I can see exactly why. And I mean, it's so true, because that's one of the things you've heard going through law school, when you're in your training and stuff.
I
And
don't
when you
remember
go,
hearing that in law school.
no, not don't be a dick. Not don't be a dick. But
None of my, what kind of law school did
they'll
you
say
go?
be nice. They'll say be
No, I
nice
know.
to the court
Yeah.
staff. So it's not don't be a
Oh
dick,
gosh,
but
yeah.
it's be nice to the court staff. And so for my experience, I've always made sure that I'm very polite, and irrespective of how I'm feeling, if I'm feeling unwell or something is going on in my personal life, I never take it to court at all, and have a strop at in particular the court staff. Even if I'm feeling awful about something within myself, I just maintain that level of not just courtesy, but
But
just
humility.
but also staying true to who I am as a person, which is,
Mm.
I consider myself quite a bit of a, I like to have a bit of a laugh. But I'm serious, but I have a bit of a, pleasantness about me. I've seen, and I'm sure you've seen it stuff. Some people at court, they turn up and boy.
Yeah.
So I get it. Don't be a dick, but I take it away,
Absolutely.
and I'll certainly, hold true to that mantra forever and a day on, in this
Oh,
profession.
absolutely. And my mentor and former boss, who we reference a lot in personal conversation, we certainly referenced on that episode,
Let's
Michelle, with
call him.
you
Let's call
as
him out. Lee
well.
Preston.
Lee
Lee
Preston, yeah,
Preston.
you've got to name him. Let's give him a
Yeah,
big
we've got
the late, sadly, Lee Preston.
yeah.
He always, from the very early days, always said that the admin staff in our firm were as important, if not more, than as the solicitors were, because
Mhm,
without them, the cogs didn't turn.
mhm.
Solicitors are terrible at administration, generally speaking. Some people, are the exception to the rule, of course. And so that was sort of drilled into me, if it needed to be. I mean, I've done enough jobs over the years that I think I always had a respect for people at any level. But
Mhm.
I think it was really good that he led with that mantra, and you were not able to talk to the admin staff in any different way than you would
That's so
speak
true.
to the solicitors, whether you were a member of staff, a client, another professional, whomever.
Mm,
And it's something that I have then taken with me. And when I've had various roles in leadership, I've always told people that they are as important as anyone else in the room, and I
yeah,
genuinely believe it.
yeah,
And so I think that don't be a dick is just so important. It doesn't matter what job you do,
good.
it
I
doesn't matter
agree.
what role you have in life. Just
Yeah,
treat people with kindness and respect, and don't consider yourself or anyone else as being above anyone.
absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing is, people can see through the nonsense. So, if you are nice to that one over there because you want to get something, and you're not nice and courteous to this person over here, i.e. court staff I'm referring to, or even in amongst your colleagues, then people not have respect for you, and they'll
No.
certainly, and I think also, in terms of court in particular, your day can be extended because you're
Oh, oh yes. Back of the list, Miss Steers, for your attitude problem.
yeah, you think you're special. Look what I'm gonna
Mm.
so it's really good. But I think another takeaway for me is, apart from, her speaking about her level of confidence and belief in herself, one of the things is how steadfast she is as a person in terms of her
Mm.
career, and she really, you know focus, in terms of where she wants to be in her, and her goals. But one of the things for me that resonates with me, and I really, yeah, I'm guilty of, and I'm trying to learn and figure out, is when she talks about how much time she spends working. It
You
made
are
me,
bad for that.
yeah, so it makes me feel better knowing that I'm not the only person that works so many long hours.
Mm.
But at the same time, it's made me also realize that I need to really get better at prioritizing. And because, in her case, she's a Casey. In her case, as she said, she's at the, she's she's fortunate to have her husband that essentially is her support mechanism. So she essentially, because she's bringing in the big, maybe the bigger slice of the bread. I'm not quite sure if that's how she sees
Mm.
it, but that's kind of the impression I got, that she's the higher earner of the two, possibly. Therefore, the agreement essentially is as if she'll, you
Well,
know,
she said, didn't she, that he's dedicated a large part of his life to being the house husband, as it
yeah,
were, which
yeah,
not many people
yeah.
have that.
So with that, it frees her up to do a lot of work, but then she makes that time to do stuff with her kids and their family. And I think
So important.
that's something that I really could try to do more of, for myself, because, I'm always working. I'm up late nights, early mornings. So I need to try and learn how to balance better. I mean, now that I'm getting obsessed about my training and my fitness again, I'm trying to go for my hike, whether it's once in a week or once a fortnight. I'm also doing my boxing 3 times a week, and I'm trying to get my gym training is as well. But I need to make time for my other half as well. More, I was very, at one stage religiously, I wouldn't let anything, but upset that. But as soon as, oh, I've got a trial that's lasting all week, oh, I can't take my head out of the paperwork, the books and stuff,
Mm.
things like that, little golden nuggets that, for me, when I sat there and I listened, I was like, okay, you're not the only person that does this, Nicole, but it doesn't mean that it's okay what you're doing.
Mm.
To now be, like she said, she's made that effort to, she prioritized, she set aside that time. So I just need to
Yeah.
learn a thing
Well, I
or two
think
of that.
from an outsider looking in at your situation, I think you obviously were building your practice from scratch. And for a large part of the early years of you working for yourself, you had to say yes to everything because, like
Yeah,
most self employed people, you don't know when the money's going to stop, you
yeah,
don't know when the job's going to stop. And so it was yes, 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 yes,
yeah.
build up, build up, build up. You've got a nice practice now. Of course, you can't be flippant
Complacent.
about it. Complacent, that's the word. You can't be complacent because of course it could end at any point, so you do still have to accept work in the main, but I think you probably can afford now to prioritize your own needs a little bit, and also you've got your lovely partner as well for support, whereas in those early days again you were sort of having to pay the bills by yourself,
Yeah,
etc. And so again you've got that added pressure, so now I think you can afford to sort of take the foot off the gas a little bit,
yeah,
and you say you're doing that by prioritizing the
yeah,
gym and things like
yeah.
that. But yeah, your partner,
Yes,
you must.
yeah. So that's one of my takeaway from it, really. Is again one of the many things that I took away from her interview with her session. So
Yeah,
it's really good. And I mean, there's so many little nuggets I can think of.
yeah.
Anyway, sorry, your turn.
No, I echo what you've just said, really. Just to hear her journey and to hear the sacrifices that she's had to make, and the fact that she can't have any hobbies. I thought that was the most difficult thing to hear, that you can't have any hobbies at all. But equally, she's very grateful and doesn't regret anything and wouldn't change anything. So she's
Yes.
happy. She's
Yeah,
happy,
I
and that's
like that. I really like
yeah.
that because some people would actually feel bad, wouldn't they? Like, oh, I haven't
Mm,
got any hobby, I haven't got any time to myself, and oh, poor me. But in fact, she was like, you know, it is what
mm.
it is.
And it just goes to show we're all different, because for myself and the changes that I made in my career in recent years, having the balance between hobbies, physical fitness, and all my various jobs,
Mm.
that has just been life changing in terms of mental and physical health.
Yeah.
So for me, I need that balance. I'm not a sort of all or nothing career girl. I realize that. I used to think I probably was when I was childless and single and, career,
Yeah.
career, career. But actually, as I've got older, I've realized, no, actually, I like to read my book, and I quite like seeing my family.
Yeah. But don't you think it's don't you think how interesting it is though, as we're that's what makes us different and
Yeah.
unique as
Oh
people.
gosh, we'd be so boring, wouldn't it, if we were all the same, and if we were all
Imagine.
sort of, charging after our egos and
Yeah. I want to be yeah, no, it's true, but it's just amazing how different we all are.
yeah.
Please, so get on with it, and this is what it is. Okay, you're here to support you've decided to support me and our journey,
Mm,
and cool. Whereas on the other hand, you're like, yeah, okay, I've had the business,
mm.
I've managed the firms, I've done all of that good stuff. No, I just want to have some time to myself, my family, and
Yeah,
good. And I'm like in between going, I want to do that, all that stuff. Remember I said to you about success
yeah,
for me in our last episode when I spoke about success for me. I'm still, trying to get some things, but not at all cost.
no,
You know what I mean? So I'm somewhere in between the two of you, you know what I mean? Between yourself and
yeah,
yourself.
definitely.
It
But
was
no,
such,
so it was a great episode. I really enjoyed it, and I'm so grateful that she came on to speak to us. And of course, we've got some lovely episodes coming up. So next week we have healing with Marianne, which was a lovely discussion. So again, really looking forward to
you mean not
people.
next week, oh yeah, it's next week. Oh
Yes,
gosh.
next week. Yeah, it's come
Yeah,
around quickly already. So yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah,
that so I can't wait for people to hear just her soothing voice. I think
yeah,
they're really going to enjoy that. And
yeah,
then in a few weeks' time, we've got the body confidence series, which again I
yeah.
hope is going to be quite interesting, because that's something quite close to my heart. I think anyone listening will know that it's close to our hearts, because I don't
That's
think we should shut
that's
up
that's
about the gym
so
and the
me.
fitness and the
That's
way we look in the
so
picture.
me. You know?
So that'll be
Yeah.
interesting to listen to those episodes and to speak to those guests as well. Um, so yeah, because it's
Yeah,
just
sometimes I feel
it's a fantastic journey that we're on, aren't we? Sort of like
yeah.
looking into going into all these different topics.
It-
But we do want to hear from others, don't we? And share
Yeah.
your stories.
It's so nice to just what do you think about this, Steph? I know we're still young in this podcasting world, and I know it's early days. I know we're building our followers and so on, our group or gang. I'm trying to think what we want to call them, our ego gang.
Stay.
But I think we should do a live. What do you think about that, Steph?
Why not? Yeah, we'll go
Yeah,
live on YouTube or something.
yeah, we're going to do a live, and what we'll do is we'll put it on our Instagram and wherever else, all our social media, and hopefully those of you who are following us already, and you're enjoying our videos, come along so you can join in on the live. You can fire questions at us. Let's chat. It's not about
Yeah.
you ask, we answer. Let's just talk together.
And
Um,
you can suggest topics, you can share
yeah,
your own journeys, and as I say, if you have any stories about healing and healing your ego, or body confidence and how your ego has perhaps affected that negatively or even positively and driven you to sort of build your body confidence, then as I say, those episodes are coming up in the next few weeks. So we would really, really love you to email us or to message us so that we can read out your comments on the mini episodes, if nothing else, but also just to learn from you as well.
Definitely, because as you've heard us said many a times, this is a learning process for us. We're not
Mm.
experts on egos. We're not expert on these issues we speak about. If we're an expert, then we can say it's criminal law, that sort of thing. So
No
just
legal advice on the lives,
no, no,
please.
no, no, no,
Feel like a
no.
busman's holiday that.
No, no, no. We want to focus on everything to do with just you, how you
Mm.
doing, how you feeling, your ego. And if you wish as well, what you could do is you could look back at our previous episodes, whether it's ego and fear, ego and criticism, whatever topics that we've discussed before, you think, hang on, they said that. I want to ask them about this. I want to ask them why. Whatever it is,
Mm.
just have a little look, come on over and, send us questions. As we've said time and again, we will keep your details private, confidential if you so choose. We can read them out without referring to who you are.
Mm.
But just come along and just let's engage. You've heard before, but I'll say it again. We're on all socials, X,
Mm.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. You just look for us, the Ego Drop, and we try to, respond to everything as soon as possible. And you can see some of the silly videos, funny videos, whatever videos we're posting at the moment, just to kind of give you a little flavor as to what goes on,
Yeah,
day.
to get to know us a little better in those as
Yeah,
well. And
yeah.
also, if you want to hear any of our guests again, we in those early days, when we spoke to Karen and Regan all those many weeks, if not months ago, perhaps you want to hear a little bit more about them and their lives, different topics. So we'd really love to hear about who you've enjoyed listening to, and maybe we'll get them back on if they'll agree, that is.
Absolutely. But also, I think one of the big things I want to pop in here and say is this. If you're enjoying the videos, please click a like. Please subscribe, especially if you're not subscribed already. Please follow us on all the socials I've referred to moments
Mm-hmm.
ago. All of that is important to us.
Yeah.
You'll see it time and again. You'll see little reels pop up on YouTube. Just wherever you watch or listen to your content, please, put a little like and the
Yeah.
comment there. We would most appreciate it. All right. So don't forget, like, subscribe, share all our
And
content.
email us at the egodrop@gmail. Thank you very much. Until
Thank
next time.
you. Bye.